Today I wanted to talk about 3 legends and give them a bit of an overview for Season 5. This is part 1 of ones to come. Now my name's Dratlaw44, so I appreciate you taking the time to actually stop by and check out the video. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going and talking about Octane, Loba and Mirage. I will be doing other ones, of course. I'll do another 3 tomorrow as well, to kind of go through some details of where I feel they're at, where they are within the meta, whether they're viable, and what they might need in a little bit of detail. Now, I did post a video about buffs and nerfs, so I won't be going through everything, but I will link that side of things down below, so if you haven't checked it out, it's well worth doing. Now, before I get into it, do remember to never stop moving, never stop believing, and stay Apex. So I'm going to be talking about each legend's strengths and weaknesses, going through exactly where they're at in regard to casual play, duos, trios, that type of thing, and of course then ranked, which is what a lot of us do tend to play on occasions, and where they're really at. Now, some legends do definitely need a change. These 3 most certainly are probably the biggest 3, and let's face it, we all need to see a meta shift, and would like to see that because change is a really healthy thing, and I think it keeps the game more fresh, more interesting, and all those good things. Right, let's get into the details then of the first legend. Okay, so we are of course going to start with Octane. Now Octane, he is an amazingly fun legend. He does have great solo utility. And he is, in casual play, I think, a legend that you can have a lot of enjoyment using. He's got a good stem boost, or speed boost as such. They buffed that for Season 5, really cool. The jump pads, I mean, the improvement for the double jump is a nice addition. And I wouldn't say that it was definitely a bad thing and the right direction to go. Respawn have obviously, taken on feedback. They read a lot of Reddit posts. They do check out some YouTube videos, and they like to kind of take that feedback on board. I have noticed that, which is really, really good. However, does it make Octane something that is going to make him a really, really good team player? Unfortunately not, and that's probably the biggest problem with Octane right there, is that, if you are playing in, say, duos, he's pretty good. You're not really too worried if you're, especially with a friend on mic or anything. It's very, very easy to kind of play him for a bit of fun and have a lot of enjoyment with the way he is. I really, really like Octane. However, if you are playing, say, like in trios, and you're playing with randoms, he offers nothing really to the squad, sadly, apart from the jump pad. But again, it doesn't really do that much because the distance you go isn't that far. And if you go into ranked, he up from sort of bronze up to about gold. He is fun, and you can still use him, and I think you can still do well. But as you kind of increase, you're naturally going to see then a lot more difficulties in kind of clutching out those situations that you might otherwise win with a different legend. And it is a shame. I would really, really love them to make a couple more further changes to Octane. I did do a couple of suggestions in that buff nerf video that I mentioned, so hopefully maybe, whether they take that on board or whether they do something different, I would love to see him in a much, much better place. So the next one then, of course, is Loba. Now, Loba, she's really cool. She's a new legend. She came out Season 5. She's got attitude. She's got class. A couple of the skins are good. The banner frames are quite cool. The one with the wolf, I think, is pretty awesome. Things like that are nice, But as a legend, you sort of say, well, okay, what does she offer? So if you are playing in, say, casual play, like duos, she is, again, a good legend to kind of use. Can she be useful? Oh, definitely. Her passive with the purple, if you're in duos and you're with a friend on mic, you can ping or a bin or a location that a purple item is if you're kind of okay. But of course, if you are looking for purple items yourself, you may or may not do that depending. If you're playing with a random, you're probably more likely to try and grab whatever it is yourself. But it's an option. You've got that choice. Now, her black market is, again, not bad. A common mistake that a lot of people actually make on it, though, is that they don't close the black market down. They also don't realise that, if you do take items, it does kind of show up, and it can give away your location. So it is a little things where maybe it's not explained too well, and a lot of people miss that. But I would love to see some changes in regards to the loot. Again, in that video I mentioned, that I put some ideas in there. Now, regarding her bracelet, so the bracelet is probably the biggest thing. It's too slow. You know, you need to get away, it's terrible. You need to reposition. If you're on King's Canyon, you're probably going to be okay to an extent. But for some reason, on World's Edge, it's absolutely dreadful, and you're just going to struggle. Because a lot of the time, the bracelet bounces back, and you find yourself in no better a position, if not worse, because you're expecting to get away, and it can really, really kill you. So they need to fix that particular bug massively. They need to improve, I feel, the black market, purely because you want to see it so that she can offer a lot of utility to the team. Why can't she take more items for herself? Why can't team members take more items? I'm not saying loads of items, because realistically, you know, that would be too overpowered. But, you know, it's within a certain radius. Maybe you could shrink that radius down a little bit, maybe to balance it. That could be always an option. But allow maybe to take stacks of ammo, so like 2 stacks of ammo and 2 items or something like that. Because I'm not being funny, but the amount of times that, like, I've been in a situation where I've either been with a Loba or been playing Loba, and the things I've had to take is ammo, because no one seems to have any. The people you've killed don't have any for some reason, or the one that you need, no one else does, and you're kind of stuck in that kind of situation. So that's my feelings on Loba. I really want to see her buffed for next season. I feel that for ranked, she's just not viable in comparison to a lot of other legends. For casual play, she's good, but the problems with World Edge, especially, does make her borderline unplayable to a large degree, and I think that has really affected her usage, but I do think she needs a bit of love as well, so I'd like to see that for next season. So the last one, of course, would be Mirage. Now, to be honest, Season 5 Mirage, wow, what can I say? Firstly, they did actually a rework, and that was amazing. You know, absolutely just incredible that they took a character that was way weaker than he is now, and they actually were prepared to rework him whilst keeping everything that is fun about playing Mirage, and his personality and his charisma. And I have to give a massive thumbs up to Respawn. Not only did they listen to a lot of feedback, but they took on board that Mirage was not in a place that he should be, and they actually improved him. Now, if someone said to me, you know, you have a choice between the old Mirage up to Season 5 or the Season 5 Mirage, you have one or the other, there's going to be no future changes, I would most definitely, 100% without hesitation, take the Season 5 one, because he's much better. But sadly, like these legends that I mentioned in this video, they have some drawbacks. Now, basically, the controlling the decoy. So, controlling the decoy is a lovely sort of addition. And definitely gives you much more kind of gameplay, much more options than you'd had before, because before you could just throw out the decoy, it stood there very generically, you could make it crouch, that was about it. Now you can control it, you can uncontrol it, recontrol it, there's a lot of different plays you can make to confuse the enemy. Now, one thing I've noticed though is that, of course, over a period of time, you know, initially people weren't used to Mirage. He was new, he was different, and it took a bit of time to adjust. But the better players have begun, of course, to understand the character a lot more, as you'd expect, and they begin to realise that, of course, 9 times out of 10, you know, a Mirage player is going to throw out the decoy in front of them. So they usually will go for the Mirage behind and take their chances. If they get it wrong, there's no real consequence, there's no real penalty. Okay, it tells you where they're positioned, but you know, they're not too bothered. Sometimes what I do is I throw out a decoy and run side by side to make it a bit trickier. You have to kind of throw the decoy out first, catch up with it, and then like gain control. It's a bit of a pain, and I would say Mirage is a bit of a higher skill cap legend, which is why his usage is a little bit lower than quite a lot. And that's not to say there aren't good players out there that know competently how to play him, it's just that the majority, or a lot of people, like to go for those easier legends that are just going to, you know, be very useful, very easy to play with, and will be an asset in a team battle. And that's where Mirage really struggles. So for things like ranked, Mirage really struggles. What does he offer to the team? Okay, so he offers the invisibility when reviving. Very nice, but that got a slight reduction in how good it was, simply because now people can see the Mirage if they get near within about 5 meters, whereas before it was completely invisible. Bit of a shame. I know they did it for Lifeline, but I don't really know why. It did make him really cool. Anyway, big big thing, but whatever. The decoys offer absolutely nothing, so one of my suggestions was basically for each decoy shot to actually give like a 1 second reload boost for you and your teammates. Now, one thing I thought of is that Mirage should be able to throw out 2 decoys. Naturally, that means that the worst case scenario would be that you, of course, give the team a 2 second kind of buffed reload speed. It doesn't last for very long. I suppose if you use your ultimate, yes, it would be a bit longer, but it would just give him a little bit more viability to the team. That is in my buff and nerf video, and I kind of added a couple of other things in there as well. But he does need something. I mean, obviously, whether it's that or whether it's something else, he does need something more. Did they go in the right direction with Mirage? Oh, definitely, 100%. They did a very, very good job in that regard. However, is he like as viable as other legends that I'm going to talk about in the next videos? No, he's not. And that's why I wanted to talk about these 3 first. So I felt like Octane, Mirage, and Loba were the legends that really are the weakest. I know a lot of speak about Bangalore, but actually I think Bangalore's really good. And when I do a video about her, I'll kind of go through that. However, she may get a little buff, and that's fine. As long as it isn't too ridiculous, I'm sure she's going to be a great fun legend to kind of use. So yeah, with regards to discussions, I would love to hear your thoughts and what you felt, on the content so far as regards to the legends that I've discussed. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have any other ideas, any other concepts? I'm always eager and happy to listen to any sound and reasonable ideas. And in fact, sometimes I actually enjoy discussing the game more than actually playing it. That does depend, and of course I love playing the game as much as possible, but like everyone, I think fresh and new and interesting content and new different things always is going to keep this Battle Royale game going. And you do need things, different things, meta changes, all those parts to be brought to the table. So if you liked the video, you found it enjoyable in some way, a like would be very much appreciated. Any likes on the video helps out. If you do want to subscribe for future content, that would be amazing. Currently on 51 subscribers, so I'm growing and going in the right direction. The next target, of course, is 100, so I'm getting there slowly, but of course, all I can do is keep trying to grow. Now, of course, do remember to never stop moving, never stop believing, and stay Apex. But apart from that, that is it for me for this particular video. Any comments, I will, of course, reply when I'm able, but otherwise, I shall see you in the next video. Enjoy your night, day, or evening, and all the best. Take care. Cheers now. Bye-bye.